We put our hearts and souls into a plate, into a dish, and to hear criticism that sometimes we don't agree with, it's painful. My whole journey in this competition has been like this. What is it that they want that I'm not giving them? And I know my food's delicious.
Welcome to the Eat Your Content podcast. I'm your host, Rich Herrera. Thank you for pushing play on my little pod. You have a lot of pods to choose from, but you chose mine, so thank you. Just a reminder to follow me on socials at Rich Herrera and at Eat Your Content, and to make sure to like and subscribe on your podcast player of choice or on YouTube. Hit the little bell icon to make sure you are keeping up with everything going on with the pod. We are in episode 10 of Top Chef season 23. We're finally leaving Charlotte. We're heading towards another city in the Carolinas, and joining me once again, Top Chef season 22 participant, Chef Corwin Hemming. Chef Corwin, how's it going, man?
What's up, Rich? Ready to do it. We're in the latter stages of Top Chef, man. It's the bell's ringing. We're getting ready to see who the top 3 finalists are. So we're there, man.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end. Here. We have a lot going on. We have a chef kind of having an existential crisis there at the beginning. We have some fishing going on, and we're in an area that's kind of close to my old stomping ground. So it was really interesting to see where they were fishing at, because I've been in that area, not exactly where they were, but close to there. So looking forward to talking about it. So to start things off, I was talking about the existential crisis that Sherry was having. She is really frustrated with her position thus far in the game, and she's cooking well, but she can't seem to find her way out of the middle. Like, she's never on, she hadn't been on the bottom all that much, but she hasn't really won anything, and she seems genuinely frustrated. Like, I could feel it coming from the TV. So when you were watching that, can you understand her position? You know, having been there in competition yourself, were you kind of identifying with what Sherry was saying there?
Yeah. So she made a comment like later in the episode, which we'll loop back to. But she made a comment where she said, "At this point, my biggest competition is Lawrence." In that, and it's Lawrence. You know, up until this point has won 4 of the elimination challenges. He's on a roll, and so I don't think it's as much she should be frustrated with herself. It's just he's just cooking at a high level. You know, Anthony's been throwing his name in the ring there. You know, Jonathan and his brother, you know, they were having some success. Obviously, Brandon's gone now, but Jonathan is like, you know, he's having success, and it's just tough. Like, there were a couple moments, me personally, I was like, well, what could I have done differently to, you know, get to that point of winning, you know, an elimination challenge, a quick fire, etc. There's no right answer. The hard part is you don't get to see what they're doing. You don't get to taste what they're doing. So sometimes, you know, another chef is on a high and you have no idea. The judges are just, you know, in love with whatever they ate, and you didn't even see it. You weren't even in the kitchen at the same time. So it's tough to even like gauge where you're at. The thing is, she's cooking well. We're seeing that. She's having success. She was dead smack in the middle. The judges didn't love her dish, clearly, but, you know, we'll get to that later. But it's tough, man. There's so many variables. I think you just got to like go for it. And she's cooking well. That's we know that she's cooking well. So it's tough that she's in this position at the end. If I'm her, I keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I keep writing it. She's not cooking in the bottom. She's not winning, but if she keeps doing what she's doing, she's not going to get eliminated, and she'll make it to the finals. She'll get there. So if I'm her, Top Chef finals is where I want to land, because then when it comes to your final cook and your tasting menu, if you execute, you win. And the judges will be like, Sherry was consistently writing. She stayed right where she needed to the whole time. And then when it mattered the most, she's going to win. That's predicated on who the other 2 contestants also make mistakes. So there's a lot of variables. If I'm her, I don't freak out at this point. We're too thick in it to like have a moment where you're a little shaky, because she's doing well. And that from our side, that's apparent. You don't have to win. There's plenty of people that have like stayed quiet, boom, win. So let's not act like she needs to be like on top. It's just tough, because comparing the last 2 seasons, for example, Danny was consistently winning. His season everybody at the bottom was shaky. There was a lot of people that like were messing up consistently in Danny Garcia's season. My season, Tristan just, as soon as like a couple people got eliminated, that halfway mark, Restaurant Wars, Tristan was just on the gas. And I think that that's what she's seeing as like, that's got to be the version of success, but that's not it. Like, keep riding where you're at. Just keep riding. You'll get there. She's cooking well. She turned a corner. She had a couple episodes where she made some mistakes in the beginning. The die challenge, for example, was one where she just didn't, really lean into the challenge. But she's cooking well. So I'm at this point, don't freak out. Just stay consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. It's working. We have how many chefs left at this point? 6.
6, yeah.
You made it this far. Doing what you're doing. Don't freak out.
Yeah. And I felt bad for her because she was like, what more do I have to do to get the judges to like my dishes? And I was like, oh man, like that's a heartbreaking place to be, especially when you're this close, you're this close to winning the thing and you still feel like, what more do I have to do? I mean, any other season, I think she would be winning more than she has been, but she's running into the dual buzzsaws of Lawrence and Anthony that are just like running away with this competition. I was looking at our draft points this morning, and they're individually, they are the top 2 by a large margin in terms of points based on their challenge wins. And everybody's battling for third. So and that's the thing with Top Chef, it's not a cumulative judging. You're judged on the dish that you put in front of the judges right there at the elimination challenge. So, for Sherry, Lawrence and Anthony are just one bad cook away from Sherry kind of overtaking that lead. So like you said, she just needs to stay consistent and keep doing what she's doing. Try not to get into her head too much. And we'll see how it turns out. So jumping right into the quick fire, we're still in Greenville. We're at Green Pond Landing, beautiful, huge pond up there in Greenville, South Carolina. And we are doing the legendary mise en place race. This is a fan favorite. And it's fun because a lot of the chefs that come on, they're executive chefs or, they're leading kitchens. Every year, there's always somebody that says, man, I got people for this. I haven't prepped in like years. So watching the mise en place race is always fun because you get to see these chefs that are at the higher echelons in their career, kind of going back doing prep work stuff. And they're like, oh man, it's like, I can't even dice an onion. Like, what's happening now? And then you're doing it under pressure with time and all that. So it is a fan favorite, and I love the mise en place race. So I'm glad to see it this season. It's got a little bit of a twist. It's a 2-part challenge. They're doing this capture the flag type thing, basically a best of 5 series in terms of the things that they have to prep. So they divide into 2 teams, 2 teams of 3. And the winning team, whoever captures the flag, wins the best out of 5 series. The winning team all then cook to see who wins the quick fire. So Lawrence has an advantage. He won the last elimination challenge, so he skips straight to the cooking challenge. So he doesn't have to do any of the mise en place. So he's thankful for that, and he's sitting by, cheering everybody on for moral support. So the blue team, once everybody's divided, the blue team consists of Anthony, Jonathan, and Sherry, and the red team is Duyen, Seeger, and Rhoda. So the first task is to seed and hull 1 pint of scuppernong grapes. So they're kind of big grapes, a lot of seeds in them. It happens to be the state fruit of South Carolina. Have you had a scuppernong before?
So I was watching this episode and I was like, what the hell is a scuppernong grape? I was watching, I'm like, that's a muscadine. Who calls it a scuppernong? It's a muscadine. Yeah. They come in 2 varieties. They're one of the 3 original varieties of grapes in the United States. You've got the green ones, you've got the purple ones, and you've got Concords up north. They're muscadine. So the scuppernong, like, what are we talking about? I've never heard them called the scuppernong. I'm from Georgia. I've never heard them called the scuppernong. My literal earliest memory of food is running through my dad's army buddy's front yard, and he had rows of muscadine grapes, the green ones, in his front yard. So the same ones that they're using for their mise en place. And it was crazy because I didn't realize how many people have never had them. All the chefs were like, I've never had these before. And I'm like, these are literally native to like the South. Like, that's crazy. A lot of people haven't had these. There's amazing grapes. Like if you like muscat candies that come from like Japan or Korea, they're like, it's that same flavor profile. They're amazing. They have thick seeds in them, really thick skins. They pop up like late summer. I love them. But one thing I'm not gonna do is call it a scuppernong. It's a muscadine.
Yeah. I thought the same
Not
thing. I
doing
was
that.
like, oh, I thought the same thing. They pulled those out. I was like, I mean, I've heard them referred to as scopenons before, but I was like, no,
Okay.
those are muscadines. Those are
Those are
muscadine grapes.
muscadines. Yeah.
Yeah, my
100%.
in-laws grew them in their front yard too. They had a
Mhm.
vine and they grew them. So I was very familiar with them, and I know they're tough and they're not for everybody, but yeah, they are
Oh
the
man, if they're not passing my way, love them. I get them every summer in like July. I like buy them by the bushel because once they're gone for the season. But yeah, they're great. I love them. Scuppernong, what the fuck are we talking about?
my wife's the same way. She loves muscadines.
Yeah,
She'll just eat them right out of the bag there and just
yeah.
spit the seeds out. She loves those things. Eats them raw.
Hmm.
So their first task is they have to seed and hull them, and they're
Hmm.
they're pretty good size, but it takes a little manual dexterity to get
Yeah,
that done. And the interesting twist about this is the same chef can do all the tasks depending on their skill set. They can choose who they want to do the particular prep that they have to do. So we'll see some strategy come into play a little bit as we go through these. So Jonathan is doing it for the blue team. Seeger's doing it for the red team. Jonathan starts manually peeling them with like a paring knife, and then Seeger flash fries them and then shocks them to try to peel them. And then Jonathan kind of looks over and sees what he's doing and goes, I need to do that. So that was an interesting take because he's like, I've never had these things before. I don't know what I'm doing
it's
with
a
this.
great.
So
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
it's a grape. So he's like, he's just peeling them, like, kind of looking at him, seeing okay, common sense. You got to peel them with a paring knife. And then he sees Seeger over there flash frying him and goes, oh man, maybe I ought to do that. And then
Too late.
Duyen, too late. Yeah. And then Duyen pulls out Dwayne trash talking to Brandon. That was pretty funny.
Hmm.
But Jonathan wins this round. I mean, I can't imagine having to peel and seed these things, uh, my hand would be cramping so hard. Like this is exactly the reason why executive chefs have prep cooks, right?
They're gonna figure out a better way to do it with nicer than your chef is. Like that's you did the one dish for a photo and then you pass off the mise en place and you're like, all right, now make this 30 times on a Friday night. And then they figure out how to do it, and you're like, damn, it looks better than what I made. That's great. Like I say it all the time. Like, oh man, it perfected. This is great. I don't have to like stay on their station and like micromanage them. Yeah, the flash frying of the grapes was smart. I don't know if it would have worked though, because the skins are so thick. I flash fried like regular grapes, like green grapes that peel because their skins are so thin. But then yeah, I don't know. Muscadines are super thick skins, and then he still lost. So it's like you fried them and you just ruined them. Like I don't know, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine like they're going to come out oily, and even I think Jonathan said
Yeah,
that they're a little oily. So
yeah.
because during the cook sessions, like, hey, you don't need to use so much oil. The muscadines and scopenons have a little bit of oil in them.
Yeah.
So Jonathan wins the round for the blue team. So the blue team's up 1-0 in this best of 5 series. So the second task, they had to peel and devein 12 shrimp. Like I've done that. That is a pain. That is a pain in the butt to do that. It's very labor intensive. The blue team is Sherry, and the red team is Duyen doing this particular task. The shrimp seems soft, which makes it much more difficult to try to
Mm.
peel these things because the peel, if you ever had to peel like soft shrimp, or if you boiled them just a little too long, they stick to the shrimp and it's a pain in the butt to do. But Duyen, she's like, I want to do this. I do this in my sleep, and she blazed through that. I was amazed. I don't know if it was the editing or if she really went that fast, but it looked like she went through those 12 shrimp in like two
No
minutes. Like
time.
it was
Yeah.
amazing how fast she was going. So the red team wins that one. We're tied 1-1 on that particular task. The third task is to crack and pick 1 ounce of pecans, and I loved the different techniques that was happening here. So the blue team was Jonathan, the red team was Seeger. So Jonathan versus Seeger again. Jonathan was cracking him with his hands like a madman. He was putting him in a towel and just like crushing him. But Seeger was more calculated using that cracker. He was using the nutcracker like traditional, but he was finding the seam to try to get the whole nut out and get to that 1 ounce faster. Because if you notice, when Jonathan was cracking him with his hands, he was doing them fast, but he was having to pick out the shells from the pecans. So
Hmm.
the strategy picking and cracking 1 ounce of pecans, like what did you think of this challenge?
I would have
Did
look as much. I know I talk trash on the name of the grape, but the thing I would have wanted to do is give me the grapes. Like I don't want to do like I don't want to do crack pecans. You want to hear some insider? We had a mise en place race that didn't make it to TV on my season.
Oh, tell.
Yeah.
Do tell.
First episode out the gate. First time in the Top Chef kitchen, they were like, "We're doing the mise en place race right now," and I was like, "Oh no, first episode. All right, whatever." So ours was concassate. You had to like peel and cut like diced tomatoes, and that was the first one. Second one was you had to snip perfect chives. You had to do a pint of each, and then the third one was you had to perfectly shuck 20 clams.
Mm, yep.
That was our mise en place race, and it was the people you were in the car with. In my episode, so out the gate, we met everybody. We drew knives. You got in the cars, and then we drove to the Top Chef kitchen. That's who you did your mise en place race with, and that's who you did the first quick fire challenge with. So it was messy, but because everybody had to like you had to ring a bell and Tom had to go over and everybody had to stop. So it was a lot of like ding, stop. All right, good. Keep going. Ding. Tom would say yes or no. He'd look at your mise en place. And then it was like this like it was too many people. It was so chaotic. And I was like, this is like not fluid. And then if you once the first team finished, they got to start cooking. And your team couldn't start cooking your first dish until you got through it. And my team was the last one. We were last. We were dead last. And I was sitting there like we lost like 6 minutes. I think we had like 14 minutes to cook.
Oh man,
Our
that's
first
crazy.
our first quick fire. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I was so annoyed. I was like, oh, how did I get here? So I had chives. I picked chives and I was like, I can like fly through a perfect pint of chives. Like my knives are sharp. And it was just everybody was nervous. And I think that's what it was. Everybody was nervous and people's hands were shaking and we were just losing time. And then Tom came over and was like, those aren't good enough. And then so I'm just sitting in the middle of my team, just waiting. And I'm like trying to be like, you got this. Come on, man. Take a breath, just calm down. Everybody, we got through it. And it went me, banged it out, and then went on the clams. And the clams was like, they didn't provide clam knives. So I was like, what are we doing? Like, this is just messy. You know what I mean? 20 perfectly shut clams. And so by the time we got cooking, I was like, we got to put up a dish quick. Like, we got to figure this out. We got to put something up that looks good. So we just like put together some ideas and then, the critiques, you take to the critiques, but I'm also like, we had 14 minutes to put up the first dish in Top Chef. Like, come on. Like, I was so annoyed out the gate. I was like, oh man, this is the setup. But yeah, we had our mise en place race and it didn't make TV yet. I just don't think it was fluid. I think it was too many people. It didn't like flow cohesively like this one. This one looked more fun because this is a small group. Like this is where you should do it in the later of the season. So they had fun. They all had their shades on. They were all out there. But pecans, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm not doing that. If somebody else wants to raise their hand. Who else? Who else is doing it? Not me. All right, cool.
Yeah, the mise en place race generally is earlier in the season because of the chaotic nature of it. Like the more people there is and earlier in the competition, just for exactly what you're saying, people are still kind of figuring out Top Chef, right? And they're trying to get the nerves out. So it's a lot more chaotic. This was much more smooth. The first couple of tasks, they were getting it done on the first try. They'd call Tom over and he's like, yep, you're good. Moving on to the next one. It wasn't until we get to this next task, which after the pecans, the red team won. So Seeger won the pecan cracking challenge. He was going over quality over quantity. He was cracking them with bigger intact pecans and got the ounce a lot faster. So the fourth task is where people started kind of stumbling a little bit. So the fourth task is shuck and kernel 5 ears of corn. The red team was Rhoda and the blue team was Anthony. The red team's up 2-1 at this point. So the red team wins this one. They're done and we move on and they win. The blue team needs this one to stay alive. And I kind of looked at this test. I was like, this should be pretty easy. I mean, you shuck the corn pretty quickly. You just cut the kernels off. But they had a lot of problems trying to get all the kernels off the corn. And I thought Rhoda was smart. She picked small ears so she can go through them faster. But every time they rang the bell, both Rhoda and Anthony had some problems with this one. What was going on, do you think, that they couldn't somehow get that knife all the way down the kernel, all the way down the cob to get all the kernels off?
Nobody is doing that to be like and looking at the cob in the kitchen being like, I got every single kernel off. Like in a kitchen, you're trying to get as close to the cob without cutting the fruit. You're like the usable product, in half. So Tom was just being particular, but also they were flying through it without really looking at the cob. Like he was kind of right. Like Rhoda's first one had like the pieces at the bottom. And he's like, there's still kernels on it. Like Tom had to like be Tom. You know, that's when Tom's like, you didn't do it right. Do it again. Um, and they were like, oh, didn't expect that. Hadn't seen that this far. So I think it just threw them off. And then they started paying attention, and then Rhoda won. You know what I mean? Like that's where who's perfectly shucking a cob. Unless you're
Yeah.
making like, unless you're using like the ribs for pieces, like to have little bunches, if you're just doing corn that's like going to get grilled, sauteed, turned into a puree, just, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
that they weren't expecting Tom to be such a stickler with the cob.
Yeah.
Pause. But yeah, that's where that stands.
Yeah, I thought he was really particular with that, and he's like, he was almost scolding him at one point. There's still
Yeah.
kernels on the cob, man. What are you
Look,
doing?
it's right there.
It's
Look,
right
look, pick it
there.
up. It's right there, guys. You don't see it? Putting it in her face. Look.
What's wrong with you? Funny. So with Rhoda speed cutting through her corn, she wins it for the red team. So they win 3-1. So they don't even have to go through the rest of the other mise en place stuff. So this starts part 2 of the quick fire. So the red team wins. So now it's an individual challenge. They're cooking against each other. And the challenge is in 20 minutes, they got to make whatever dish. They can make whatever dish they want, but they have to use all 4 of those ingredients. The muscadines, I'm going to call them muscadines. The muscadines, corn, shrimp, and pecans. So the items that they just prepped, they got it included in their dish. So Rhoda made a warm corn, pecan, and shrimp salad with muscadine and tamarind vinaigrette. Lawrence did a corn, pecan, and shrimp chow mein with muscadine pickles. Duyen did a butter poached shrimp with pecan romanesco and charred corn. Seeger did an ajo blanco with shrimp, corn, muscadines, and toasted pecans. So the bottom 2, the least favorite was Seeger and Lawrence. It was kind of weird seeing Lawrence on the bottom here, but Seeger, Tom said had a lot of flavor, but thought the garlic overpowered the dish. And Lawrence's dish, Gail said it was too sweet. The favorites were Duyen and Rhoda. Tom thought that Duyen's dish was flavorful, had a good amount of acidity. Shrimp were cooked well. Kristen thought it was cohesive. Rhoda did, or Gail liked Rhoda's dish and how she turned the grapes into vinaigrette. Talking about the bottom here for just a second, Seeger seems to be, I don't know what's happening, but Seeger has been on the bottom almost on every challenge since he came back. I don't know what's going on with him. We'll talk more about that at judges table, but he seems unfazed by it all. Just kind of being there and on the bottom. Lawrence is kind of an odd place to be for him. It was good to see Duyen and Rhoda up at the top, and Rhoda wins the quick fire and wins her first quick fire, and her first quick fire cashed at 10K. So what do we think of the least favorites, kind of how they were, which dish stood out to you, which one sounded good to you to eat, and those kinds of things? What was going through your head as you were watching this?
I think the ladies that were on top, clearly, they just stuck to simplicity. To address the bottom, it's easy to make something that has grape sweet. So I don't think that Lawrence transformed it into something that was more savory on the savory side. Like he added a sweet, I think would he put dates in it or something?
Yeah, he added dates
He had
too.
dates in it. So you added a second fruit, which, if that's what you're going to go, you might as well just like go in the dessert direction, but they're out in the baking sun. So that wasn't the case. And, Tom threw some shade at Rhoda there. He was like, your dish was sweeter than than her dessert from the last challenge. I was like, oh man. She was like, Tom, for real? Like Tom's cold hearted, man. Like he thought it was funny. Everybody was like, yeah, that was a dick move. But yeah, I think adding the dates as the second fruit, like at that point you might as well have made it into something like dessert-esque, which he still tried to make a savory dish, and that's where it wasn't perceived well. What I'm noticing about Seeger had that one moment where he was up and won that challenge, maybe like week 5 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's not doing that. What I'm watching and noticing is like quick fire cooking, the style of quick fire cooking, like on the fly, like coming up with a dish that's good on the fly is a skill.
Yeah.
That not everybody has. Like, when you look at the people that have won Top Chef in the past, they were honed in on the challenge and their ability to come up with a really good idea with the products. They're looking around the Top Chef kitchen consistently And also pay attention to what the judges like, man. I've said this like consistent. I said this last year when I did a couple podcasts. I'm saying it again, like for the people that are coming in the future, pay attention to what the judges like to eat and like adapt your style, do things that you've done before. Don't try to experiment for the first time, and stay in this lane where you're like creating beautiful dishes. Think about your plating, think about your shapes, think about the color of your sauces, finishing double purees, whatever. Like get creative in that way. But like Secret's dishes are like so minimalist, and we're going to touch back on this because I do want to talk about his, dish. And at Judge's table, it's like super minimalist, but like not close, like not close. And it's like I'm go back to what you were doing right. Like he needs to have some self reflection, but he's like, it's like you said, he's mentally a little. It seems like he's like burnt out by this, like checked out a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like he's checked out. I don't know, and it all happened from when he was eliminated, and wasn't on Last Chance Kitchen, and then came back because of the Jennifer Justin situation. I don't know if he just I don't know. He seems to be disengaged. He's cutting jokes at judges table, which I don't think is a good thing to do when you're on the bottom. But he just seems indifferent to the whole experience at this point. I don't know. I'm going to reach out and see if he'll come on the pod and talk about it. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting to watch because, like, you're right. He had the episode suite back in episode 4. And then since then, he's, individual points, he's been in the negatives every episode since then. So it's interesting. I don't know what we're seeing with Seeger. And it's not hate. I'm not hating on him or anything. I'm just making an observation. Just like he just seems checked out. Like I don't know what's happening there, but we'll talk more tough, about man. What's that?
It's tough. Like you being away from family, no phone, no comms, you're away from your business. Your lifestyle completely changes while you're like in the Top Chef world. Like once you go into Top Chef, like it's like you're in boot camp. Like it's boot camp. Like there were things that I struggled with. I went from boxing and running half marathons to eating absorbent amount of food every single day, whether you're cooking and tasting, whether they're feeding you, the snacks they provide. God was like, man, I was gorgeous. I definitely gained the freshman 15, the freshman 20 leaving Top Chef. But that was like, and I was like, man, I'm missing like working out, like at my leisure, like very hard. Like I need to like run miles. I need to punch something, a speed bag, heavy bag, something. I got to do something. And that like going from that and just being like, all right, I got like 20 minutes to like jump rope today. That's it. Like that wasn't cutting it for me. So I struggled like immensely mentally with the lack of physical aspect. And then on top of that, I was drinking like 30 coffees a day, just wired. I was like looking back and I'm like, well, you were so wired. Like, calm down, bro. Like we're off in the stew and there's just downtime. I just remember just being up, like just being like, I got energy. I had so much energy. But then like at the end of the night, I'm like, man, I'm tired. Like today was like, we were cooking all day, but yeah, man, it's like, it's not easy. I think that's the one thing that people like that don't watch Top Chef really understand. Like that sequestered lifestyle is really like it's old school. Like I was reading books going to bed every night. I'd wake up at like 2 a.m. with a book on my open book on my chest. That's what I was doing. I haven't done that since 2005, bro. Like reading Harry Potter books back then, man. Like that's the last time I can remember. And there's like no TV, so like you're really just like your whole lifestyle changes. And I think he's feeling the pressure of that. It's what it looks like. He's just like, I want to like have my lifestyle. I want to go to a bar. I want to do this. I want to do the things that I enjoy doing. And you don't have a lot of that, like luckily we had, there's a studio where we all can all, kick it and hang out on like, down hours with respect. But, it's just tough. It's different, bro. You're in a group of people that like, or you don't know. And you're having to spend all the time with them. And there's not that many people now. Did you lose your best friend in the competition? Like, it's just a lot of pressure, man. And I don't know. He seems like very checked out, and maybe the barbecue challenge did that to him because he wasn't like that before the barbecue challenge. He was spruce and I'm gonna cook the pig, and then now he's just kind of like his energy is deflated a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Top Chef changes you. You go through that gauntlet, and you're probably like eating chips over the sink, crying like, "What is my life right now?
Why am I not winning 10,000 in cash?"
That's right. What is happening? So let's get right into the elimination challenge. Again, we're at Green Pond Landing, and it's home to the Bassmasters Classics. So they have a fishing themed elimination challenge. And the challenge is to create a dish featuring fish from Lake Hartwell. I used to live in Northeast Georgia, right on the border of South Carolina. So we'd go to Anderson and Greenville, South Carolina there, and Lake Hartwell. I'm very familiar with that area. So really cool to see Lake Hartwell on TV. It was fun. So a couple of guest judges, we had James Beard Award winner James London and Oscar nominee and Greenville native Danielle Brooks, probably best known for her role as Tasty in Orange is the New Black. I will say this, Danielle Brooks was, I thought, hilarious in this episode. More of her as a judge on this show, please. That would be great. I do in general love when they have like celebrity judges, especially ones that are funny, because they're like me. They're not like chefs. They don't do this for a living. So they're just like, like Melissa Benoist when she was on and she said, "Oh, I don't have the eye to catch broken whipped cream." And Danielle's like, "Look, it tasted good to me. I couldn't tell the difference." I love seeing that kind of everyman perspective. And I'm like, oh, celebrities, they're just like us. But it's fun to see non-chef guest judges on this show, because I think watching them interact with somebody like Tom is always good TV. So Danielle Brooks was funny on the show today. I thought she was great. She was dancing at the table for something that she liked. It was good. It was just good TV. So the chefs were paired up with a professional angler, and they got to fish for 60 minutes. Whatever they caught, they can cook with. And in case they didn't catch anything, the anglers had some fish on hand and ready to go. And then they handed out like superlative awards for smallest fish, biggest fish, most caught fish. It was a good time. Good time had by them. Fishing though, not a fan. I'm not a fan of fishing. I did it once and I'm never going to do it again. Are you a big fisherman? Do you like sitting out doing nothing?
Yes, I love anything outdoors. I grew up literally running through the thick of woods in Georgia, and then when we lived in Maryland, when I was younger, we lived on a military base, and there was a lake called Lake Burba there that was literally like walking distance from my house, and I'd go and by myself and cast some fish. They would have like a summer fishing competition that I would go do. So I don't mind fishing. I like outdoor things. It's fun. It's something different, man. And plus, like, there's nothing better than catching your own food and from like start to finish, butchering it and like doing your own like start to finish. There's nothing. If you ever been hunting before and you kill something, and it's just a different respect for life that you ultimately have and the work that goes in. If you've ever seen somebody skin a deer in front of you, or if you've ever been a part of that, and you've had to like start to finish, like butcher your own kill and like treat it. It just gives you a different respect, especially as a chef. Like it's a part of the process that we miss. Being if you're stuck in a restaurant all day, you don't get to go do those things. And I think that's why like a lot of chefs that have access to farms thrive, because they're like, I get to go back into nature and start from the beginning, and then see the whole cycle of mise en place. So it gives you a better respect for your own mise en place. It's dope, man. I love it. I if I can go fishing tomorrow, I would definitely. Somebody's like, hey, let's go fishing tomorrow. I'd be like, you know what? I haven't done it in 15 years. Let's go do it. Let's why not?
Yeah. I mean, I do have an appreciation for where the food comes from. I just don't like getting it myself. So
out the fridge is where you're at.
Yeah. Fishing for me, 1 out of 10, do not recommend. But I do appreciate fresh seafood on my plate that was earlier that morning, just swimming around minding its own business. And it's now on my plate for lunch or dinner. Food doesn't taste any better than that. I just don't like fishing. I did it once, and the only thing I caught was mosquito bites, and it was just I am allergic to the outdoors, and yeah, that's enough about me and fishing. But I thought it was funny with Lawrence. His angler was trash talking him a little bit. He says, "I'm pretty sure your cooking is a lot better than your fishing." I was like, "Oh my god, that's harsh."
He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Lawrence was having a rough time, and a couple of people had a rough time catching fish. I don't think Rhoda caught a fish, but some others are having some pretty good luck. So the superlative winners after the hour, they come back. Duyen wins for smallest fish, and each win gets a little bit of an advantage. So she gets an award for the smallest fish, and her advantage for that was $5 extra in her shopping budget. She also won with most fish, with 5 fish caught, so she gets an extra 50. So she has an extra $55. And then Jonathan wins for biggest fish. He gets an extra 30 minutes of cook time, and also like a 5-foot tall trophy that was hilarious, trying to fit in the back seat of the van, getting it back. So a fun expedition. And then as they go shopping, I thought this was really interesting. So they get there, they head over to Whole Foods, go shopping. Duyen only spent, she had $155 total. She only spent 97. So she
Yeah.
had a ton of money left over, and she's buying stuff for Rhoda and Sherry, which was nice of her. But I remember I had Chef Kenny Gilbert on my podcast covering season 20 when it was World All Stars.
Hmm.
And one of the chefs ran out of money, and other people were like buying the stuff for him. And Kenny was like, "Nah, that would have never happened in my season." He was on season 7. He's like, "That'd never happen on my season." It's like, you run out of money, that's your own problem. You don't know how to budget, you're gonna have to figure it out. Like, everybody's
Hmm.
so nice now. That would have never happened in my season. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting, and she was really nice to buy things. And the only thing I was thinking about when she was doing that is, I can't imagine like if you bought an ingredient for somebody and then that person beat you with the ingredient that you bought for them. Like,
Hmm.
how much would you be kicking yourself at that point? But I don't think that was the case here. So um, you have $155 total. Why aren't I would have used the whole thing. Like, I would have,
Why?
made an more
Less is
elaborate
more.
dish. What's that?
Less is more. Less is more. It's less mise en place. The less you buy, if you can nail your dish and make something delicious with less products, less is more. It's less touches that you like. You're fighting the clock. Less is more.
That's true.
Like, there's one rule. I think, who was it? Chef Greg from Portland, Oregon, that owns Khan and a New York restaurant. He said it best. Like, on his season, I think he was on season 17. He said it best. He's like, don't use everything in the Top Chef bag unless they tell you you have to use everything. And that is one of the realest rules of Top Chef. I stuck to that 100%. The first elimination challenge, we had a basket of 5 things, and I was like, "Oh, I could use all 5 of these things." And I was like, "Don't use all 5 of these things. Don't." Like, I remember him saying that, and I was like, "Don't use all 5 things. Make a more cohesive dish with a couple of things that you like, and stay away from like all the extras. You go trying to do everything. It's like, it's just more mise en place, more work you got to do, and then your dish may get a little confused." I would go less is more. I would do exactly what Duyen did. But she was also really nice in being like, people were like, they were making jokes. She was daddy for a little minute, buying, treating, which made for some good banter. But yeah, man, it's what we said about this season the whole time. This group of chefs, they really enjoy each other's company, and they're really nice to each other. They're not there to be the villain or the asshole. They just genuinely want to, help. Like, we saw it at the final cook too. She asked for her help, and Rhoda jumped over there and helped her, finish plating tomatoes. And it's like, they just have a camaraderie that it's gonna last a lifetime. These guys are gonna be friends. They're gonna find each other in the world. They're gonna take trips. Like, we'll see it. Like, they just did a little function cooking somewhere, and they like threw a party. They were dancing. They had a DJ, and I was like, I'm not surprised at all. Like, at all. These guys ride for each other, regardless of who's the winner. These guys really ride for each other, and it's good. It's what Top Chef needs, because you'll see more collabs coming out of it. You'll see more activations coming out of it. You'll see more things. Like, they may take a vacation just as friends. Like, and the fact that there's people that follow Top Chef that are following all these people. They're now in our world. It's like, people like to see that, and Top Chef needs more of that. This chef, there's a reason why the whole ethos pivoted away from the drama and the bullying and the chaotic environment to this new train of thinking where chefs are like, no, like, I don't have to be the villain. I don't have to treat people like shit. I can be chill and see somebody else win alongside me. And it's good. It's good for the brand, in my opinion. And I want to see more of it, but it's definitely very noticeable.
Yeah, for sure. Like, the earlier seasons, I've talked about this before, where they were editing it in a reality show
Hmm.
format. Like, somebody was going
Hmm.
to be the villain, somebody was going to be this, somebody was going to be that, and filling out those tropes. Where now it's all about the food. It's about the experience of watching these chefs go through this, and not like who stole Ed's pea puree kind of thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, I thought it was great. Although I was thinking to myself too, I'm gonna buy. If I had extra money, I think I would have bought myself a nice little snack or something. Like, are you allowed to buy if you have extra money, are you
Yeah,
allowed to buy yourself something to eat later?
100%,
Oh,
hundred
cool.
percent. You can just don't say anything. Just put it in your cart and just don't say anything.
Yeah, and then just take it out when you get back to the hotel or whatever. It's like, yeah, this prosciutto is mine for later. you know. So
Which
yeah,
you don't need to do, because they provide us with so much food. Like, Sorry if you can hear my kids. They're waking up from their nap right now. The babies,
Uh-oh.
the twins are up. Which you don't need to do because Top Chef is like, they literally were like, "What do you want to eat?" Like before you even showed up, when you knew you're flying to go be on set, somebody from the cast's job is literally to feed you. Like it's somebody's job to be like, "No, you're gonna eat 3 to 4 meals a day. If you want 5 to 6 meals a day, you can have it. If you want coffee every morning, you can have it." They're gonna make sure you're fed. They treated us well, like in terms of food there. Right? We had snacks on deck. Ours, since we were in Canada, we had the all dress chips, like the Lay's.
Oh yeah,
Man, I ate my body weight in those. Them joints fire. I
those are
was
good.
snacking them too. It was so good. The ketchup flavored chips, hit or miss. Like I was like, some people like them. I was like, nah, give me the all dress. Keep the all dressed in stock. Buy it by the case. Go to the Canadian Costco. Keep the all dressed on deck. And so uh, you don't have to, like if you want to buy a soda for the day, sure, but like the Top Chef team feeds you. I remember I got an email and they were like, "What do you want us to stock your fridge with for your upon your arrival?" And I was like, "I'm locked in, peanut butter and jelly." And the lady was like, "Excuse me?" She was like, "No, like you need like food to sustain." And I was like, "Caesar salad." Yeah,
Jeez.
I was like, nah, I'm coming here like it's boot camp. I'm coming to win Top Chef. I don't need the extras. Anything extra is a distraction. Let's go. And then I got there and I was like, what is wrong with you? Like I remember I went to Vinny's room and I like just opened up his fridge nosily and he had like pot stickers and dumplings and like, prosciutto and like all this. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I gotta eat better, bro. Like I remember I made like a turkey sandwich and I was like, yeah, I'm not eating a whole pack of this all week. Like, no, like, what are we doing? Like, I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I was like, I don't want to eat a whole loaf of bread by myself. Like, and I literally went to the production person and was like, can I like put in a grocery? Can I go grocery shopping? I did this so wrong. And they knew, they laughed. They were like, yeah, we can go. I ended up stocking. I got prosciutto. I got some chili crisp. I was making like chili crisp eggs or like crispy prosciutto for breakfast every morning, avocados. Like, I was like, man, I'm eating good. Like, screw that. But yeah, I went in with the whole wrong mentality of like, but they'll feed you. So like if you want to spend extra, like get a soda, sure. They're not gonna say they're not gonna bust your balls for it. But it would also like ricochet if you like didn't get something that you needed and you bought a soda. So like if you have all this extra money, just make sure you have your mise en place and make sure you don't buy like salted butter, which I did. I did. I was like, I don't need butter. And then I like put it back and I was like, nah, just get it just in case. And I ran back and I just like grabbed it because I had to get in line. And I just grabbed the first one I saw and I didn't grab the same one that I originally picked up. And I thought that was going to make it to TV, but I definitely grabbed salted butter at one point. And I was like, so you're definitely not using this. Like you should have just not picked it up. Like you were never going to use it and you bought salted butter, but whatever.
So at the beginning you're locked in, but by the end your fridge is looking like a celebrity's rider. Like, oh, I only want green M&Ms in.
Voss by the bottle, glass
that's
bottle.
that's
Yeah. No.
it's funny. So let's talk about the dishes that everyone was cooking here. So Duyen did conchua with pineapple, tomatoes, and bok choy, basically a hot and sour soup. She had some problems with her fish, and ironically, she said the fillets are thin, so I don't have to cook them that long. But she didn't cook them long enough, and she knew that going in, and she was trying to take the skin off, and it wouldn't come off. It was still stuck to the flesh. So she just flipped it over, skin side down, hoping that the broth would kind of finish it off,
Nah.
and it didn't. So undercooked protein. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, this is Duen's packing her knives because you cannot have undercooked protein at judge's table unless all things staying equal, you and another person are on the bottom, all things are equally bad. The undercooked protein is the one that's gonna go home.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking there in seeing her starting to struggle with her fish? What were you shouting at your TV for Duane to do?
Keep it in the poaching bath. Take your time. I was like, oh, just leave it. As soon as she checked it, I was like, oh, she tried to peel it. Like it took me back to it was a dish I did when I was a cook with this is like one of my first restaurants, and we had to like peel the skin off of John Dory. And I was like, why the fuck am I doing this like a la minute? Like I literally was like, why is the chef doing this to me? But then like as you mature and you understand like there's like ways to like do things and present things. Certain skin fish taste better. Certain ones take more to heat and searing. Some just get rubbery and you just don't do it. And it was a good idea, but she didn't need to peel the fish. But it was also a good indicator of like just keep it in the poaching liquid. I was like, oh, just poach it a little bit longer, you know. And I think that in those moments where your checks and balances need to happen, she fretted instead of like steering a course. And yeah, it didn't land well for her. We saw out the gate first episode what happens if you undercook all your fish. So don't undercook your protein. You're going to get eliminated for it. I was like, oh man, unless somebody royally bombs here. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, she's going home. I thought the same thing, but also it sucks because she was finally starting to turn corners. You know, she came out of Restaurant Wars like Chef Duyen is there. You know, I think Chef Duyen needed to come out in that moment and like have a conversation with herself and be like, keep going. And she got a little nervous. She was like wasting time trying to peel the fish. And then she started second guessing everything. And she was losing time. And Rhoda had to help her play it. It just was a recipe for disaster that I think we all we've seen happen this season in multiple ways. And it didn't land well for her. And, you know, it sucks because she could have easily been in the top 3. I think she was liked amongst the group. She was liked amongst the Top Chef cast. She was liked amongst viewers. So it sucks to see like that person go, but that's how it always happens. Like that one fan favorite person like always ends up getting clipped. And you're like, ah man, I want to see them for at least another week, just because she just brings funny, like she just brings herself unapologetically. Like when they were doing the fishing, she was like, I'm so competitive. I hosted a beer pong tournament once. I won it. I had a ping pong tournament in my basement. I won it. Like, it's just so like, but she's dead serious, but that's why she's funny, because I'm like, there was no superlative. There was you can't Google any of that. Like, you can't Google any of that. Like, nobody knows you won a beer pong tournament, but that's who she is. And she's unapologetically her. So like, we're losing a bit of that banter. Like, it's the same way you spoke about, you said the twins need to constantly talk while they're cooking. We lost 50% of that. And so like 50% of that banter is just now gone from the season. We kind of need it. So we got it when Jonathan won this massive trophy. He was like a kid, and I'm like, one, how are you going to get that back to you home? Like, are you going to leave it there? Like, no, you got to take it with you. So like, I would ask the production team, mail me my trophy. That shit's gone. And he was joking about it the whole time. Like every year that fish is going to get bigger. It was as big as the truck. Like you need that banter from these guys on Top Chef. And the losing Duyen. Losing one of the twins, we're losing a lot of the banter because now it's just going to be all seriousness, minimal joking. The kitchen's going to be pin drop quiet, I think, from here on. Seeger's already not talking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hated seeing Duyen go too for all the same reasons. She's funny, she's charming, she's good on camera. Mm-hmm. I hated seeing her go, but I saw that undercooked fish. I'm like, that's it. You're done. Yeah,
you're done.
Roll
Unless
credits.
Somebody bombs.
Yep.
Unless somebody bombs.
Yep. So let's talk about Rhoda. She did spotted bass, seared spotted bass. She didn't catch a fish, so they gave her a spotted bass. Fennel puree, artichoke barragouli with mussel and clam sauce, Menair. Tom thought the cook on the fish was perfect. Kristen called it a classic simple dish, so Rhoda did really, really well there. And Seeger was up next. He did a baked spotted bass with braised lentils, pepper sofrito, dates, and caramel vinaigrette. And Danielle said the lentils had too much going on. There was a lot of stuff happening. He should have edited a little bit. Gail said it was too sweet and astringent, and James said it was missing a bridge to tie the dish together like a sauce. So you said you want to talk about Seeger's dish a little bit. So what was going through your head when the judges were describing the dish and when Seeger was presenting it?
When I saw the presentation, it's like, you got to come harder. You've got the likes of Anthony coming for it. We're seeing who the latter of the 3 are here. So you got to come with it. And it's just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like super minimalist. And it's like, give the judges something they haven't seen before. Like, go for it. Do something more. Like, I don't know. It's just when I saw this dish, and then one of the judges said it lacked flavor. Like, flavor was missing in comparison. You know, they tasted Anthony's Agusi, and they were like, yeah, it was a little bitter, but like his components, all like how he cured his fish, added the sweetness component to it because he uses creative ingredients to cure his fish. It tied his dish together. Lawrence's dish looked stunning. It had like the wispy garnish on top for texture, and the fish was perfectly steamed, and the sauce was like super bright and red, but not too spicy, but full of flavor. It's like, that's what you're cooking against. You've got to look at what other people are doing well, and you've got to learn from that. Like, it's one thing to like make your own mistakes. It's another thing to like see somebody else making mistakes and be like, I'm not going to do that because that's not going to win me. And then also look at the people who are winning in Top Chef and being like, that person is doing something really well. You know, like let me make some pickles from scratch. Let me dye something. Let me get really creative. That's when the judges like instantly your dish is a standout. You know, when I did the scallop and apples dish that landed me in the top 3, it landed me there because I went as hard for my component in the challenge as possible. Like I was like, I gave you 5 variations of apple. I juiced it. I made a fluid gel. I used it in a raw preparation. I shaved it. I did as many things as I could with it within the time. And Tom came over and spoke to me, and I knew like when he saw that, he was like, "Oh, like I'm going to be looking to see what your dish is like." And I luckily went first in that challenge. But you've got to come with it. Like you got to go harder, man. Like this isn't the time. Like you're here to win Top Chef. You're not here to just get on TV. Like, and if that's what you're there for, man, you would have gotten bounced out a long time ago, or you should have. You should have saved the spot for somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, see, it's okay to be simple and it's okay to be minimalistic, but every element on that dish, if it's simple, 3, 4 components, needs to be perfect because there's less to hide behind if you're doing a very simple dish. And like we said, he just seems to be just cooking with indifference here at this point. And it was clear when Duyen was up and Seeger presented and heard the judges' comments, I knew those two were going to be on the bottom. And because Duyen's was undercooked is why she went home. But I feel like if Duyen would have cooked her fish and she was still on the bottom for something else, that maybe Seeger probably would have went home. I don't know. To me, that's what it would have seemed like. But you can't let undercooked protein go. And so I think Seeger is safe barely on this one. So let's talk about Lawrence. We touched on Lawrence here just a little bit. He is cooking on another level right now, beyond everybody else, maybe other than Anthony. Them two are neck and neck. But he did a Cantonese steamed fish with ginger scallions, fried leeks, rice, and bok choy. Danielle, in her words, was tearing this thing up. I thought it was pretty funny. Had her dancing in her seat. A great sign. James said it was so much technique, it was flawless. Gail co-signed that flawless technique in talking about how the skin wasn't crispy, but it melts away as you eat it. He is doing really, really well right now. I think the only way you can beat him at this point is with a stick in his sleep, because it's just not. If he keeps cooking at this level,
he's gonna win.
He's gonna win. He's just gonna win. So I think he's riding this high of these last few episodes. I mean, he's scoring points individually that is just insane right now. So he's doing really, really well. What did you think of Lawrence's dish?
Stunning. Loved it. There were three really finesse components: sauce, protein, garnish on top, couple garnishes like the oil dots in his red sauce. But like, man, what I'm noticing about him, he's cooking from his heart. Lawrence is pouring love into his food, man. It's so evident. Like every dish, every week we're watching, and it's drawn back to his dad, his earliest memories of food, how he met his wife, what inspired him to become a chef. Like it's all the things that like he is rooted in as a person and as a chef that are just pouring straight into that final plate, and it's showing. Everybody else is like, what is, I know where this it feels like this whole episode is about Seeger. What is Seeger pouring into his food? What are we hearing? What are we saying outside of an idea? Nothing. That's the difference of somebody who can go far in this versus somebody who is and win versus somebody who's just kind of like trying to win. You know what I mean? Like Lawrence is cooking from intentional. He's cooking from memory. He's cooking from like his heart. And it's like, that's the type of food that wins in restaurants too. Not even just Top Chef, man. Like if you're cooking with like your ancestors involved, if you're cooking from like your heritage and you're pouring in and you're like, it translates into good food, man. And we're just seeing that with him, man. You know, he's talking about how he won over his wife, man. Like that's not something to be messed with, you know. And it's paying off, man. I think we're seeing, I'm eager to see how him and Anthony, if they get it, I could be wrong. They could both get bounced next week in a double elimination challenge to go straight to the finale. But at this point, I think it's like him, Anthony, and Sherry are the top three. Rhoda's back in it. Rhoda had some mistakes. If she gets thrown a dessert, is she going to struggle again? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've seen some holes here that if another challenge pops up, we know like Seeger's at the bottom. Is he getting bounced next week? Is Jonathan going to mess up, or is Jonathan going to make another phenomenal dish like he did today, which let's cover that, because I was like, sure. That was 10 out of 10 chef's kiss, like super bold, super simple. Like it took me back to when I made fried chicken. This dude made taco. He made a taco perfectly. Beautiful, made his own masa, just executed. But yeah, well, let's touch on his dish.
Yeah. So going in order here, we got Anthony and then Sherry. So Anthony had a really good dish too. He did a spotted bass, because he didn't catch a fish either. Spotted bass with poblano, egusi sauce, and yassa. Danielle thought the sauce was delicious and thought everything tied together well. Tom said that his dish was focused and had a point of view, which is what wins you Top Chef. Technique will get you far, but technique with a story and a point of view is going to win you the game. And that's where Anthony and Lawrence are separating themselves apart from everybody else. But Anthony had a really good dish, and he drew upon his time in Cameroon and going to Africa and tasting those dishes and remembering that and bringing it back with him and adding it to his toolbox of tricks to elevate his dishes and to differentiate himself from everybody else. So thoughts on Anthony, on his dish and what you saw on the plate?
Same thing I just said about Lawrence. He's cooking from his heart, man. He went to the motherland and is bringing back, and we've seen this all season, bro. He came out the gate cooking a certain style of cuisine. He's got something to prove here in terms of like cooking for the diaspora, and that you're cooking for heritage, man. Good luck beating somebody that's doing that, because he has everything to lose in trying to create new dishes. We've seen the Cantonese style fish before. I can go to that region of China and get Cantonese style fish very similar to what Lawrence did. The only difference is Anthony is cooking from a place of new, like cooking for, like, think about this, like Afro-Caribbean restaurants, for example, are just now getting the shine globally. We're finally getting a spotlight. We just saw Kabawa in New York City win #1 restaurant in New York City in the New York Times. This is new for everybody. It's new for the people that are going there. It's new for the chef team. It's new for everybody. Yeah, we've been experimenting for years to get to this buildup, but this is new for the world. And so Anthony, also like myself, like Tristan, like Eric Ajapong, like Kwame Onwachi, like Chef Greg, like all the other people that came before us, we are trying something completely new. And we're pulling on things, ingredients, dishes from a part of the world where people still don't know what a goosey is. And he's going for it. And not only is he going for it, he's doing it well. So like that to me is like, if he can stay there and he can just ride these last couple of challenges out, he's going to be in the top 3. And if he can execute, Lawrence may not win. If he cooks higher flavor, if whatever the theme of the final cook is in his favor, Anthony can win this. And then Chef Marcus Samuelson will have 2 back-to-back chefs that have won, that he's has hired, that have won Top Chef, and that means the world. Like that means like the diaspora is just up. It's the proof is in the pudding that we can compete on the highest level with everybody else. And Anthony's cooking his ass off, man. And I'm here for that, because it's like I'm trying to do the same thing too, man. I want to see him win. I want to see Eric Ajapong win. I want to see Kwame continue. He just opened up Maroon in Vegas. Like I want to see everybody in Miss Local Moores in Canada win. I want to see all of it. I want to see the restaurant, the people that are doing it in London, the cream in Manchester and London. I want to see them continue to win, because this is our moment. And this is heavy for us, because everything's predicated on like our success, because it's our moment. You got to win here. You can't lose. So in that, it's like, Anthony, man, kudos to you, bro. Like, don't ever stop doing what you're doing. You're doing it great. I'm a fan. Him and Lawrence, like they're inspiring, man. They're inspiring to like other people too, even though like we're all chefs together. Like they're inspiring. It's like you got to keep going, because they're cooking from an intentional place, and it's landing very well with the judges.
Yeah, and Top Chef has had such a huge impact on the rise of Afro-Caribbean cuisine because of the last few winners and chefs that were featured that
Mm,
really made it a point to say, this is the food that I want to highlight. This is the food of my ancestors. This is I have this platform that I may never have again, and I'm going
hmm
to take advantage of that, win or lose. This is the
hmm
food that I'm going to cook, and because they were focused on that, they went far in the competition. And even if they didn't win, they still won because
hmm
of the rise of the Afro Caribbean cuisine that you're seeing. Restaurants that 10 years ago probably would not have has had much success as they are now. Top
hmm
Chef is just not only following the trends of dining, but setting trends of dining. And I think this is an example of that. So Anthony is definitely setting himself apart in that and highlighting those ingredients that I would never have heard of and would never have seen outside of Top Chef. So good on Anthony for that one. So Sherry did a spotted bass with green curry and papaya salad. Daniel liked the curry. Kristen thought it was heavy-handed. The fish is cooked well. Tom said it was a good dish, and watching her kind of existential crisis at the beginning, and then seeing this at judges' table was kind of a nice little bookend to the episode because she was showing her frustration and then seeing it played out on her plate. Just because Anthony and Lawrence are the buzzsaw that she's running into, she just can't seem to get over that hump this close to the finals. So I'm hoping, we're running out of middle for her to hide behind. So I'm hoping that she kind of sees kind of what's going on and tries to amp it up a little bit there. So
Yeah.
hoping for Sherry to make it through because she's great too. I think she's a great
Mm.
personality, great casting this season, and having Sherry on there. But yeah, so I do want to talk about Jonathan because when I heard he was doing tacos for the elimination challenge, I'm like, man, that is ballsy. It better be perfect because this is where you do the fine dining stuff. This is where you do the tweezering, for elimination challenge. And he's doing a taco, which seems counterintuitive, and he even knows that. So when you heard tacos, what were you thinking about that?
The second I heard he was making his own masa, I was like, okay, this is gonna go well. It's gonna either go well or he's gonna royally mess up. But he made perfect dough. Like his masa, his tacos were all shaped nicely. Um, he beer battered his fish. He tested one piece. He ate it. You saw him like on camera, like really being his own fan. Oh man, this fish is. Oh man. Oh, he was like over there, like he literally had me on my couch cracking up. I was like, dude, this guy's crazy. Him and his brother are nuts, but in a good way. And he was very like going into his dish, had all the confidence that he was going to nail what he nailed, and he didn't try to redress something. He didn't try to recreate the wheel with the taco. He gave you a fish taco, bro. It was perfectly beer battered. He gave you a slaw. He gave you some pickled jalapenos. He gave you a crema. Like everything was nailed perfectly. And I think that that's what stands out. It's like what we talked about, like a story, perfectly executed mise en place. You don't have to always win. You don't have to be the number one guy. If you are consistently top three, top three, top three, you're going to just continue to ride that wave. Like that's getting your name called and being like, hey, you got our favorite dish of the day. Like that's like you need those string of confidence wins because you're like, all right, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'll make it far in this competition. And it just was a really nice place. It was plated elegantly too for a taco, but also they still were able to pick it up and one bite it, or like take a bite. I'm a fan of that. There's no rules to Top Chef. You can go rustic and have a dish that's like stunning. When I did fried chicken, I didn't think I was going to be top three, but I was. And I was just cooking from my heart. I was like, man, I was missing my family. And I was like, man, the first thing I like learned how to cook as a kid was like a burger and fried chicken. Like those are the two things. And my mom, when I was in high school, my mom would come home from work and be like, can you make fried chicken? And I'd be like, yeah. And so I learned how to like perfect my style of fried chicken, like starting at like 15 years old. And that just I had a moment where I was like thinking about my mom, thinking about my dad, and I was like, oh, I should do fried chicken. Like I was gonna do yakitori for that challenge, and I was gonna like skewer chicken and do like a jerk. Then I was like, I have flour as the main component. Like we had to deconstruct a dessert, so I was like, well, use the flour. Like if you use yakitori, like don't try to like add a floured component. It's just gonna be weird. And then Shuai was using the yakitori, and somebody else was using the Beanchan Japanese grill, and I was like, they were already using it. Don't try to fight in there and get time in. But then also like, everybody was using the fryers that day, like, and they were wrecked. Like I remember Cesar was making like these tuiles with a crustada iron basically, and like there was just dough everywhere, and the fryers were hammered. Henry was using the fryer, and I was like, man, I don't know, man. Maybe I made the wrong decision, and I didn't go like elegant enough. I just did like I stuck to the challenge really well. I used all the components. I turned the raisins into a barbecue sauce, which I was like, Kristen hates barbecue, or she hates raisins. So like, don't give her raisins in the physical form, transform it into something else. I did like a miso raisin barbecue sauce. I was getting really creative, and I like glazed my fried chicken in it. I made a jerk marinade. So I was like going like Asian Caribbean, which is already a thing. Like, we have Chinese Jamaicans, there's, Indian, Coolie Indians that exist. So like the Asian Caribbean theme is there. I was like, this is going to work. But I didn't think something that low end would, for me personally, would have won. We saw Zubair win with the fried chicken dish. That was his story from his pop-up. And so it's not a far-fetched idea to do something heuristic like a taco, like fried chicken, like etc., and win with something simple. And so I think just kudos to him just nailing his mise en place and sticking to the challenge. Like he just perfectly cooked this fish, and it was great, and it was seasoned, and it looked nice. I'm not gonna lie, it looked really nice. The presentation was great. It was like a plated taco. It was just done very well.
Yeah, when we talk about it's okay to do simple and rustic, but every element of it has to be perfect. This is an example of that. Like that beer battered fish, even from TV, that beer batter looked tremendous. It looked
shatterproof,
yeah.
like crunchy.
Yeah, it looked good. It didn't look greasy on TV at all. Even I know the beauty shot, they make one that's for the cameras, but even the ones that were sitting in front of the judges looked tremendous. And the little swirl of the crema and the chipotle remoulade on there looked really good. And ironically, Kristen wanted a fried fish dish because everybody was steaming it or pan frying it, searing it. Nobody did an actual fried fish. So Kristen was hoping for a fried fish, and she got it. In fact, when they landed it down, Gail was like, a taco? Because she was even surprised that a taco would make its way into this particular challenge. Danielle loved the taco. Tom and James thought it was a great fish. Everybody loved it. And I thought it just took a lot of confidence for Jonathan to make a taco, and kudos to him, man. Hat tip to the guy. He is, when he has fun in the kitchen, you better watch out, because he's going to come out with a dish that's going to look really, really good and taste really, really good. And he was clearly having fun on this one. Like you said, he was his biggest fan, eating that fish and testing it out and everything. So it was really, really interesting to watch.
Can we chat about Danielle real quick? She is hilarious.
She is so funny.
She was so funny, but she's a comedian. Like if you watch The Boys, she's great on The Boys. Like not The Boys. Is it? No, it's a home. What's the show she's currently on right now?
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, yes, Peacemaker with John Cena. Yeah, it's she's hilarious on that, and she's a good actress. But like my season, we had Michael Cera, and like behind the scenes, nonstop jokes. Like he's just always thinking about a bit. I think she's kind of the same way. She had like Kristen like cracking up at the table. You could see Kristen was just smiling the whole time, and it was because Danielle was cracking jokes. She said something. She was like, "Mo fish for that ass," like she
more
just
bass for that ass. Yeah.
Mo bass for that ass. She was just cracking, like just the comedic relief was perfect. She's great. I love her as an actress. This is cool. She's from Greenville. My brother-in-law's from Greenville too, so it's good to see like somebody famous is from there. That's like representing Greenville, just because it is like a very like quiet Southern town that like doesn't make any noise, like really, but it's like a big place. Like it's a lot of Southern people that are from there. But it's a dope place, man. I've been a couple of times, but shout out to her. Shout out to Greenville, South Carolina. She had me cracking up. I was glad that they picked her, because the Top Chef team, they just do a good job of like picking the right people for challenges. We saw like they're out the gate, the NASCAR, just picking, just having drivers, like they just pick the people right. Whoever's job that is, you give them a raise, man. Give them an extra $5K on top of that salary.
Yeah, Danielle's so funny. Like I want to see her more on future seasons. Doesn't have to have a connection to the challenge anyway. Just bring her on for her kind of everyman approach to the judging, and for her comedy, and she's so. Yeah, when I heard more bass for that ass, I had to pause it because I was cracking up so much. It was so funny. It was so
No
off the
bass for that
cuff.
ass. It was,
Yeah,
but it rolled off the tongue.
rolled right off
Um,
the tongue, man.
they should. This is the pilot. Top Chef. I'm pitching an idea here. They should do a feature season, like a spinoff of Top Chef, kind of like something on LXK. If you've been a judge, you could throw your hat in a ring and cook.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be
The
fun.
comedic relief of some of the people that are there would be great, and some of them like to cook too. That would be great. They should do a little like Top Chef celebrity series where like all these celebrities that they're inviting on as guest judges can like go cook. That'd be
Yeah,
great. I would pay good money to see like a little half season of that. Like obviously we don't need 14 weeks of that,
yeah.
but I think that would make like a little like good like little 5-6 episode banger. Just pair up a couple comedians and throw them in the kitchen and see what they do. That would be great. I would pay money to see that, honestly.
You know the challenge that they have on Top Chef where they have a wall separating the chef and like somebody that may or may not know how to cook, and then they have to
Mhm.
describe to them what to do, and they can't
Mhm.
see what they're doing. Danielle would be hilarious as that.
Mhm.
Like, can you imagine somebody like Lawrence having to describe to Danielle, okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna like dice this up, and oh my God, that would be so good. That'd make such good TV. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'd pay to see it.
So let's talk about judges table. So top of the judges table, I think is no surprise. It was Rhoda, Anthony, Jonathan, and Lawrence. Lawrence wins. That's his 4th overall win out of 10 challenges. The guy's got a 40% win streak here, and it's back-to-back elimination challenge wins. So again, Lawrence, he's cooking to lose at this point. Bottom of the judge table, I don't think was a surprise either, was Duyen and Seeger. So I don't think cutting jokes at judge's table is a smart move. We talked about that before. He said, "Do you think you should did you think about something to try to connect the fish to the lentils?" And Seeger's like, "Yeah, I thought the spoon would do that." And he said it so instantly, right? I mean, it
What
was
a
funny,
dick.
but I'm like, I don't think that was the time, dude. But I don't know.
Where did
But
where does your bass come from? The lake.
yeah, right.
Duh. What's wrong
Uh,
with this guy?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But eliminated was Duyen. She had the undercooked protein. That's always going to send you home, unfortunately. So she is out of the competition. So we're down to 5, and we'll kind of see how things go. So to give an update to the draft points. So the episode total, my team did really well. They scored 17 points for me. Your team scored -2. So sorry about that.
Brother, you might. That's a big jump for you.
That's a big jump for me, but overall score, you're still winning 86-68. So got a ways to go.
Yeah,
Got a ways to
I
go.
mean, yeah, if you 2 more episodes of that, and you're right there with me again, and then it's neck and neck going into the finale.
Yep.
Which
Overall, chef, what's that?
I said, which I don't want to happen. Like I'm very comfortable in this lead. I need who I've got Anthony and I've got Jonathan still.
Yeah, you got Anthony you have Anthony and Sherry is left on your team, and Seeger. So you have Seeger, Anthony, and Sherry left on my team. I have Lawrence, Rhoda, and Jonathan left on my team.
Could go either way. We both have 2 stars. We got somebody in the middle, and we got somebody that could get bounced. So
Yep.
this could go either way. Like, yeah, you have an up week, you're up. If I have an up week, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And, scoring for the finale is whoever's in the season finale, the last episode of the season, they get 15 points. And then whoever wins the thing gets 30 points. So it really, it's anybody's game at this point. So even though I'm down by a lot, I can still come back in these last few episodes and win this thing. So we'll see how it goes.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I thought it was a fun episode. I thought there was a lot happening, a lot more. I think there's a lot more drama than maybe the episode seems on the surface. When you start kind of digging into the psyche of some of the chefs that are left on the show, and how they're presenting their food so far, and what they need to do to maybe turn that corner. But overall, great episode. Thank you again for coming on. So I want to give you the last few minutes here. Where can people find you on socials to follow what's going on in your life and what's going on at the restaurant at Isla this week?
You can follow me at Chef Corwin Hemming on Instagram. New menu is launched. We are live with the spring menu. It is getting perceived very well. We are busy. We are booked and busy. We are getting ready for some chef collabs coming up this summer, which will be great.
Nice.
What else is new? Chef Lonnie. What's new with Chef Lonnie? She is She's leading the helm. We're locked in. We're just trying to grow. Good Love Lounge is doing well. We're just there, man. We're cooking good food, showing people an awesome time. We had two kids come in. They were friends of somebody in our upper management, and they came in. I treated them like chefs. I gave them aprons last night,
Oh,
gave them
nice.
side towels. I was like, "Do you guys like to cook?" And they were like, "Looking," because we have a live fire hearth. I was like, "You guys like to cook?" I was like, "All right, how about this? You guys are gonna come in the kitchen. You guys are gonna cook your steak." I like let them season it, gave them gloves, made them wash their hands. The fire was blazing. They were like, they could feel the heat. I was like, Chef Kevin is going to tell you exactly where to put your steak on the grill. And he like had him put it on the edge, and then we moved it over. But yeah, we gave him a little moment. Those are the special moments that we do at the restaurant for people. And so their parents were like, you didn't have to do that. And I was like, I had to. They'll never forget this day for the rest of their life. And they were also fans of Top Chef. They like watched the season. So we're like, oh man, we get to meet Chef Corwin. I was like, you guys want a picture? Like, come on, man. Like, let's just go do it. This is Dad Corwin talking. You know, this is not Chef Corwin. This is Dad Corwin doing some good for the world. But yeah, man, we're doing all the things, man. We're trying to take over the world. We just got voted number 8 in DC for best new restaurant. We're finalists for Grammys. We are finalists for a Grammy. So like our team, shout out to everybody at Isla that's doing the things. Everybody's pouring in, everybody's buying in. We're getting better day by day. And so it's just all good things, man. We're in a blessed position. I'm very happy with our team. I'm happy with all the adjustments we're constantly making and not, sitting stagnant. And we're just going for it, just like these Top Chef competitors are going for it, man. We want to win the gold. So we're there.
Awesome. Good to hear. And just a reminder, follow me on socials, also at Rich Rare and at Eat Your Content. Make sure you like and subscribe on your podcast player of choice, and hit the bell icon. Make sure you know what's going on. So we're hitting the last few episodes here, and
we've got 3 more, 4 more,
4 more, I think. 3 more,
11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah. So 4 more. I think there's four more episodes left. Yeah. Cause there's 5 people left. So yeah. Yeah, I think we got about 4 more episodes left. So getting to the tail end to see who wins this season. Yeah, looking forward to doing it again next week. Chef Corwin.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Over now. I'll see you, Rich.